Hi everyone, this is my first video on this channel and I wanted to do a nose tutorial because it was something I struggled with a lot when I was beginning to draw portraits, but I actually realized that it's pretty easy to do once you get the basic steps. There's many methods that you can use to draw a nose, but these are the ones that I found most effective, so I hope you enjoy. Also, this video will only be covering the front profile of the nose and not the side profiles. I know there are a lot of different side profiles that are difficult as well, so I may make more tutorials in the future covering that, but this one will just be about the front profiles. So for the tutorial, I'm going to be using a slightly darker pencil, but I would suggest using the standard 2B pencil. I'm using a darker one just to allow you to more easily see the lines that I'm drawing, because I'm going to be drawing pretty light in the beginning. Make sure to draw very light in the first few steps because you don't want to make a line that you can't fix later on. And there's just your basic guidelines, not your final result. So yeah, the first step is to create 3 main circles for your nose. The biggest one's going to be in the center of your nose and it'll be around this size if you're trying to copy that. And so then you're going to try to do 2 smaller circles on either side, and you can separate these more or less based on what you want your nose to turn out like. This is just based on this reference picture that I drew beforehand, so if you want your nose to look more like that, then I would recommend this separation. So these 2 areas will be the nostrils. You can kind of start to see the formation of a nose. It doesn't look that similar to it yet, but you can kind of see like these are both of the sides and that's the bottom of the nose. So then you want to refine the nose a little bit more and like get the structure kind of what you want it to be. So I want this to be more sharp, the bottom of the nose, than it already is. And this to come in a little bit more on this side. And then you can draw the 2 lines at the top if you want. Okay, so that's how I want it to look. Now you just want to erase all of the guidelines so you can get into the shading. Okay, so this is what yours should kind of look like right now. In this reference picture, the light is coming from this direction, so for that reason there's more highlights on this side and shadows on that side. So that kind of affects what it looks like, but there are some main areas in which you should add shadow on the nose in any situation. So some of the main areas are in this right here, so you can see the shadow over there. So when you're first sketching the shadows, you can just kind of sketch like this, and it's not going to look really blended, but you can use a blending stump or your finger. I wouldn't recommend using your finger because you have a lot of oils in your hand, so it doesn't work that well, but it still works. And then there's, in this reference picture, there's shadows on this side. And around the side. Also, in the area right below your nose and like above your mouth, there's usually a shadow right here, and then there's like light on both sides because this is kind of dip in this area. And so then also you're gonna have like a little bit of shadow right here. And sketch a little lighter where you don't want the shadows to be as dark. Okay, so now you're going to want to pause the video if you want to blend it out more, which I would recommend doing. It kind of makes it look a lot more realistic. So now mine kind of looks like this after blending it out a little bit. But as you can see, there are more highlights in this reference, so you can later add that with any eraser. This is the eraser I'm going to be using. So based on this reference, there's highlights here. I mean, depending on the light direction, it's obviously going to change, but a lot of the time the highlights are like around here. So I'm just going to add that. And so then there's also some on this side of the nostril. And then there's always highlights on either side of this area like I mentioned before. And you can kind of emphasize that by shading a little more on either side. So right on the bottom of the nose, some of the time there's also like a really faint and like thin line of highlight right above the bottom line of the nose. So it kind of added that more thick than it should be, so I'm fixing it. But yeah, you can't really see it, but some of the time that makes it look a little more realistic if it works out. So yeah, I think that's pretty much done. There is also a little more shadow on this reference, on this picture than on that. So yeah, maybe I should have gone a little lighter on that, but hopefully this was an easy tutorial. I hope you guys enjoyed, and I will see you in my next one. Thank you for watching.